Although Yi Xian wasn't a good person, he still had a bottom line. Seeming to have thought of something, Yi Xian suddenly asked, Xiao Ta, did father stop at nothing for the sake of cultivating? After being silent for a moment, Xiao Ta said, No. Yi Xian blinked and was a little suspicious. No. Xiao Ta said indifferently, Young master, in your heart, is master very bad? Yi Xian laughed and said nothing. Xiao Ta said, Master was a little extreme in the early days, but he wouldn't take the initiative to bully others. However, he belongs to the kind, if you bully him he will exterminate your entire family. Yi Xian said with a smile, Father, did you ever meet an extremely strong opponent, the kind that you couldn't beat no matter what? Xiao Ta said in a deep voice, Yes. Ming. Yi Xian, Xiao Ta continued, he was beaten from the beginning to the end. Of course, compared to Sister Tianming, Master was very young at that time, so it's normal that he couldn't beat her. After saying that, she paused and said, Sister Tianming is the only person who dared to let your big brother and Master fight together. No one has ever done it before and no one will be able to do it in the future. Yi Xian said seriously, I can do it in the future too. Not only can I will let all three of them fight together. After being silent for a moment, Xiao Ta said, In terms of acting cool and bragging, young master, I only admire you. Yi Xian. After a moment, Yi Xian slowly closed his eyes. At this moment he was thinking of a problem. The monster sect hadn't come to find him for so long. This meant that the fourth stage man didn't report to the monster sect. In other words, the monster sect might choose to investigate him. This was also his chance. He wasn't afraid of strong opponents and enemies, he was afraid of not having time. And this one-sword slaying life, he also had to think of a way to improve it, because his one-sword slaying life was no longer useful to Ming Xian. Time flowed. Intuition told him that the upper limit of the power of time flowed was far more than this. Yi Xian suddenly asked, Xinzhao, do you know where the monster sect's branches are? The Xinzhao said in a low voice, If you destroy one branch it might not attract too much attention from the monster sect. But if you destroy a few more, I'm afraid that you will attract the monster sect's attention. At that time there might be 5th and 6th stage experts coming for you. Yi Xian smiled. Do you think they will let me go if I don't destroy them? After a long silence, the Xinzhao said, To the ancient demon realm. Yi Xian smiled. You lead the way. After a while, a message flowed into Yi Xian's mind. Yi Xian activated the Qingxian sword and disappeared on the spot. Ancient demon realm. Yi Xian had just arrived at the ancient demon realm. He looked around and soon he frowned and was about to retreat. At this time, a voice suddenly sounded behind Yi Xian, Young Master Yi, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Yi Xian turned around and saw a man standing in front of him. It was the 4th stage expert that he had fought with before. At this moment, the opponent's body had completely recovered. Besides this man, there were 2 mysterious experts in black robes. This was not the point. The point was that these 2 were actually at the 4th stage of the Eternal Heart Realm. 3 at the 4th stage of the Eternal Heart Realm. The man smiled. Young Master Yi, are you surprised? Yi Xian laughed. Do you think I'm surprised? The man glanced at the sword in Yi Xian's hand and didn't speak. Yi Xian's Qingxian sword was in the scabbard. In other words, Yi Xian didn't use his sword. Yi Xian shook his head and smiled. I thought the monster sect would send a 5th stage expert. I didn't expect it to be a 4th stage. 5th stage of the Eternal Heart Realm. The man smiled. Young Master Yi, do you know much about my monster sect? Yi Xian replied with a question. Do you know much about me? The man nodded slightly. According to my investigation, there seems to be a mysterious expert behind young Master Yi. It's that female swordsman, right? Yi Xian frowned slightly. You only investigated one? The man looked at Yi Xian. Not just one? Yi Xian laughed. How should I address you? The man smiled. Yunchuan. Yi Xian thought for a moment and said, Brother Yunchuan, you knew that I would come. So, you brought along 2 4th stage experts to wait for me here. However, you didn't attack me directly. What? It's very simple. You aren't confident in your ability to kill me. Besides that, if I'm not wrong, Brother Yunchuan hasn't investigated me and the power behind me clearly. You're afraid of hurting me, right? The man looked at Yi Xian and smiled. Yes. Yi Xian continued. Now Brother Yunchuan is even more afraid. Because I know about the monster sect, but I'm not afraid of it. Yunchuan smiled. Yes. Yi Xian said again. Then does Brother Yunchuan want to know the power behind me? Behind Yunchuan an old man suddenly said. Yunchuan, why are you talking nonsense with him? Why don't you just kill him? He's talking so much nonsense. He's definitely trying to fool us and then get away. Yi Xian glanced at the old man. Damn it. He's not afraid of smart people. He's afraid of this kind of hothead who's not smart but not stupid. Yunchuan smiled. I wonder what the power behind young Master Yi is? He didn't think that Yi Xian was fooling him, because all kinds of signs showed that there was really someone behind Yi Xian. Yi Xian smiled. Have you heard of the Three Swords Alliance? Xiao Ta was speechless. Yunchuan frowned. Three Swords Alliance? Yi Xian smiled. Haven't heard of it? Yunchuan hesitated and shook his head. Oh. Yi Xian smiled. Looks like Brother Yunchuan's level is still not high enough. Yunchuan was speechless. At this moment, the old man beside him said in a deep voice. Not high enough. Are you joking? Our monster sect's power is spread all over the universe. How many universes do we know? But we have never heard of the Three Swords Alliance. I think you want to live, so you're trying your best to fool the three of us. Saying that, he was about to take action. Yi Xian suddenly opened his palm. The green profound sword slowly floated to the old man. Old man, you're a fourth-degree realm expert. You must be knowledgeable. Come, take a look at my sword. The old man waved his hand. Old man, if you don't look, old man will beat you to death. Saying that, he charged towards Yi Xian. The powerful force caused the entire sky to boil. Seeing this scene, Yi Xian's eyelids twitched. Damn it, where did this rash young man come from? Just at this moment, Yunchuan suddenly said, Stop. Hearing Yunchuan's words, the old man stopped. He turned to look at Yunchuan. Yunchuan was staring at the green profound sword in front of him. The old man frowned. Just as he was about to speak, Yunchuan suddenly looked at Yi Xian. Who forged this sword? Yi Xian smiled. What do you think? Yunchuan looked at the sword in his hand in silence. In the depths of his eyes, there was a trace of solemnity. After a while, Yunchuan looked at Yi Xian. I've really not heard of the Three Swords Alliance. Yi Xian smiled. Brother Yunchuan, how about this? 3 days later, I'll personally go to the monster sect. We'll settle the feud between me and the monster sect once and for all. What do you think? Yunchuan frowned. You want to go to my monster sect? Yi Xian laughed. Yes. The feud between us has to be settled, right? Yunchuan fell silent. Yi Xian smiled. At that time, you'll see the strength of the Three Swords Alliance. Yunchuan glanced at Yi Xian. You'll really go? Yi Xian thought for a moment. I swear on the name of the Three Swords Alliance. If I don't go, then the three swordsmen of the Three Swords Alliance will be beaten to death. Xiao Ta was speechless. P.S. There's more. What's wrong? Xiao Ta spoke indifferently. It's nothing. Yi Xian was speechless. Meanwhile, a Qian spoke again. Of course, if young Master Yang is able to purchase it in full, then you can save yourself a lot of trouble and you won't have to pay interest as well. Yi Xian thought for a moment and said, Aren't you afraid that someone won't pay back the loan? A Qian blinked. I'm not. Yi Xian smiled. I'll come back another day. A Qian stood up and smiled. Young Master Yang, take care. She turned around and left once she finished speaking. Even though she still had a smile on her face when she left, it had changed slightly. Yi Xian spoke abruptly. Does she think that I can't afford it? Xiao Ta replied, You can't afford it in the first place. Yi Xian was speechless. Yi Xian fell silent within the room. He hadn't expected that the core of the universe would be so expensive. What should I do? Xiao Ta spoke abruptly. Young master, are you thinking of robbing me? Yi Xian's face darkened. Am I that sort of person? Xiao Ta spoke indifferently. You're not a person. Yi Xian was speechless. He didn't waste time with Xiao Ta and left the Celestial Treasure Pavilion. As if he'd thought of something, Yi Xian suddenly opened his palm, and an ancient book appeared in his hand. The Book of the Universe. He hadn't used the Book of the Universe since he'd obtained it. So, he didn't know if it was useful or not. Meanwhile, Shen Zhao suddenly exclaimed, The Book of the Universe. Yi Xian smiled. You recognize this Book of the Universe? Shen Zhao spoke in a low voice. It's an extraordinary divine treasure of the metaverse. Yi Xian spoke in a low voice. Can it kill a Eternal Heart Realm expert? Shen Zhao replied, Yes. However, I don't know what its limits are. You can give it a try. Yi Xian gazed at the Book of the Universe and hesitated for a moment. Should I give it a try on myself? A short while later, Yi Xian opened the Book of the Universe and then he wrote 2 words on it. Yang Yi. The green-clothed man was speechless. Xiao Ta was speechless. He just finished writing when the Book of the Universe suddenly started trembling violently. In the next moment, it actually started burning. Yi Xian's expression changed drastically when he witnessed this scene, and he hurriedly placed the Book of the Universe into Xiao Ta's body. The flames emanating from the Book of the Universe gradually vanished after it was placed into Xiao Ta's body. Yi Xian hesitated for a moment before he said, "Xiao Ta, is it all right?" Xiao Ta spoke indifferently, "It's fine. It was just almost obliterated." Yi Xian was speechless. Xiao Ta said solemnly, "Young master, it's best that you don't challenge master's authority for now." Yi Xian was silent. Dad's strength was still unfathomable. At this moment, dozens of powerful auras flashed across the sky. Yi Xian lifted his head to look at the sky. At the side, someone suddenly said, "Why did the four halls suddenly send out so many experts today? I heard that a swordsman will bring people to fight to the death with the demon sect." What the heck? Fight to the death with the demon sect? Is that swordsman serious? He should be serious. Otherwise, the four halls wouldn't have sent out so many experts. Besides, I heard that even the ancient demon hall master came personally. What's the background of that swordsman? I don't know. But he should be very strong. If not, why would he dare to come to the demon immortal realm? Let's go. Let's go take a look. Such a domineering swordsman. We must see. Within the city, countless experts walked towards the city gates. At the side, Yi Xian fell silent after hearing the experts' words. Xiao Ta suddenly said, "Young master, are you going?" Yi Xian said seriously, "Can I go?" Xiao Ta hesitated and then said, "If I don't go, I'll lose face." Yi Xian shrugged. "I'm already shameless. What's there to be afraid of?" Having said that, he turned and left. Xiao Ta. On the city walls. At this moment, many experts from the ancient demon hall had gathered on the city walls. Not only that, experts from the other three halls were also hidden. They were ready for battle. They had to take it seriously. Because the four hall masters still took Yun Chuan's words seriously. On the city walls, Yun Chuan stood quietly. In front of him stood a middle-aged man with a horn on his head. This person was the ancient demon hall master, Kuei Shin. Kuei Shin looked into the distance with a calm expression. "You will come?" Yun Chuan nodded. "He will definitely come. This person is a swordsman. He is extremely powerful. He will not go back on his word." Kuei Shin nodded slightly. Everyone was ready for battle. From sunrise to midday and finally from midday to sunset. However, Yi Xian still did not appear. When the sun set, Yun Chuan's expression was a little ugly. This fellow couldn't have gotten lost, right? At night, Yi Xian still did not come. The experts on the city walls and the experts in the city all had strange expressions. And Yun Chuan's expression became more and more ugly. The next day, as a red sun rose slowly, all living things woke up. But Yi Xian still did not come. On the city walls, Kuei Shin turned to look at Yun Chuan. Yun Chuan looked into the distance and said softly, "Is this guy planning to be shameless?" At this moment, Kuei Shin suddenly said, "Yun Chuan, I am very disappointed. And very angry." Having said that, he turned and left. On the city walls, the experts of the demon hall retreated. Before long, only Yun Chuan was left on the city walls. Yun Chuan looked into the distance, his eyes blank. Impossible. Such a powerful swordsman would not go back on his word. Could he really be lost? In the city, the crowd dispersed. There was a lot of discussion. They were all discussing why the swordsman did not come. Was he afraid? Or lost? Suddenly, the entire demon god city became lively. At the same time, the entire demon god cult began to put out a bounty for Yi Xian. This time, Yi Xian had stood the demon god cult up. This made the demon god cult very angry. No one had dared to play with the demon god realm like this. Before long, the secret agents of the demon god cult left the demon god realm to look for Yi Xian. And they did not know that Yi Xian was already in demon god city. On the other side, in some unknown galaxy, two old men tore through the time-space stellar domain. About 4 hours later, they appeared in the heaven realm. Both were at the 6th tier of Eternity Heart realm. The two old men looked around and the old man on the left said softly, "Let's go." Having said that, the two disappeared on the spot. After a while, the two of them arrived at the Zhou clan. When the two of them appeared in the Zhou clan, the current Zhou clan leader, Zhou Xian, appeared in front of them. Looking at the two of them, Zhou Xian was extremely cautious. Unfathomable. This was the feeling that the two of them gave her. And with her current strength, how could anyone who could give her such a feeling be ordinary? The old man on the left sized up Zhou Xian and smiled, "Nice to meet you, Mississippi. We have no ill intentions. We are here to ask where our young master is." Zhou Xian frowned, "Your young master?" The old man on the right suddenly said, Yi Xian, young master Yi. Hearing this, Zhou Xen was stunned. Yi Xian. The two old men nodded. Zhou Xen took a look at the two of them, and her expression turned strange. The old man on the left had an amiable expression. Miss, as far as we know, he was here previously, right? Zhou Xen nodded. He was here earlier, but he has left. The two of them exchanged glances. Meanwhile, the old man on the left hesitated for a moment before he said, Miss, did the young master leave anything for you before he left? Zhou Xen frowned slightly. What did he leave? The old man on the left grinned. For example, a wooden figure or something. Zhou Xen shook her head. The two old men exchanged glances, and then the old man on the left smiled. Then we'll be taking our leave. As soon as they finished speaking, the two of them were about to leave. Meanwhile, Zhou Xen suddenly said, If he left a wooden figure for me, then what does it mean? The old man on the left hesitated for a moment before he said, Madame said that if the young master left a wooden figure for you, then it means that you are our young madam, and we will take you away from here to the dark world that madam has opened for the young master. There, you will obtain the best cultivation resources in the entire universe. As soon as they finished speaking, the two of them left. Zhou Xen was speechless. P.S. Do you have tickets? At this time, the old man took out a storage ring and placed it before Yi Xian. Young master, please check it. Yi Xian was silent. Damn it. I was too careless. Yi Xian did not go back on his words. He kept the storage ring and handed the white jade bottle to the old man. The old man put away the white jade bottle as a smile appeared on his face. The smile was filled with a profound meaning. The demon immortal realm was the world of demons, and the bottle of blood essence in his hand was a super godly item to the demon beasts. Not only would it bring great benefits to Immortal Treasure Pavilion, but it would also bring Immortal Treasure Pavilion a huge connection with demon veins. At this time, Yi Xian suddenly looked at the obedient Xiao Mo and smiled. Young lady, how much commission will you get from this deal? Xiao Mo looked at the old man and hesitated. Then she said softly, I don't know. Under normal circumstances, she would get at least 100 star veins as commission. However, this amount was just too much. More than 100 star veins was no laughing matter. Yi Xian looked at the old man and the old man smiled. Don't worry, young master. I will get as much commission as I can. I won't be greedy for the little girl's star veins. As he spoke, he opened his palm and a storage ring floated before Xiao Mo. There were 200 star veins in it. Double. Xiao Mo was stunned and then said with a trembling voice, Supervisor Xiao, this is too much. Supervisor Xiao smiled. The other 100 star veins are your reward. Hearing this, Xiao Mo immediately bowed deeply. Thank you, Supervisor Xiao. As though she thought of something, she turned to Yi Xian and bowed again. Thank you, young master. Yi Xian laughed and looked at Supervisor Xiao. Supervisor Xiao, I would like to purchase some cores of the universe from Immortal Treasure Pavilion. Do you have them? Supervisor Xiao smiled. Of course. May I know how many cores of the universe you want? Yi Xian asked. How many cores of the universe do you have? Supervisor Xiao smiled and asked, How many do you want, young Master Yi? Yi Xian came to an understanding. Supervisor Xiao meant that he could have as many as he wanted. How extravagant. Yi Xian suddenly asked, Supervisor Xiao, may I ask if the master of Immortal Treasure Pavilion is a woman? Supervisor Xiao was slightly stunned and then she said, Why do you ask that? Yi Xian smiled, It's nothing. My teeth haven't been good lately, so I want to live off a woman. Supervisor Zhao's face froze. Damn it. This kid isn't a good person. Meanwhile, Yi Xian suddenly withdrew a storage ring and placed it before Supervisor Xiao. Supervisor Xiao, I only have 4,700 star veins in total. How many cores of the universe can I buy? Supervisor Xiao thought for a moment and said, All of them? Yi Xian nodded.